All right. Am I live, y'all? Can you hear me? Let's see. We're having some slight issues today. So hopefully y'all can hear me because we're having some slight issues today. Restream is being a bit of a pain right now. But am I live? Because I have no idea. All right. Let's see. Y'all, am I live? All right, I think I am live. Phew. All right. So, let's see. All right. I am live. All right, your own pay. Yeah, I'm having issues with Restream tonight. Not sure what's going on, but it's basically not working. I had to change something about the stream, and it didn't like it. So here we are. We're back to the old days of speech chat. Yay. Yay, speech chat. Yay. So, anyways. Oh. All right. So, let's see. So, I assume we're good. Sorry for the late start, y'all. I'm still trying to get everything together, but we're doing okay. So, let's see. All right, I'm just making sure that works. Okay. All right. We are live. We are somewhat functional. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this stream. So if y'all are ready, I am ready, and let's go ahead. Let me actually record first. With all this madness going on, I had no idea. So let me record, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Sorry again for the late start, but we've just had some issues this morning. Jeez. All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead and all right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. How are my levels? Are they good? All right. So we are live. Let's go ahead. Let me start recording. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Taylor's Tech Talks. I'm super excited to be here today. We're going to be doing a special stream a little bit out of the ordinary. It seems like all my streams have been a little bit out of the ordinary lately, but this one especially. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about how I acquire my clients for my business. So, if you guys have not seen me around before, that is okay. I am Taylor Arndt. I am a freelance accessibility, WordPress, and web consultant. I have been in this industry for 3 years, helping clients that range from governments, nonprofits, small and medium-sized businesses, and everyone else in between with getting online for the first time, as well as becoming more inclusive and accessible for everyone. I'm super excited, again, to be doing this today. I've had a business for a little over a year now, and I know that with COVID and everything, it's definitely going to be a lot more important going forward for self-employment. So, let me get out of 1Password here. It's getting in my way. So, let me get rid of 1Password. But I really just want to share some things that have helped me, and hopefully they will help you guys as well. So, if you're out there in chat, please say hi. Our chat is definitely working today, so say hi. And we will be sure to address all the chat messages. Okay. So yeah, if you guys are out there, hey, Your Own Pay. Nice. I know that Your Own Pay, thanks to him, he requested this stream. So super excited to be delivering on one of my viewers' requests. All right. So let's go ahead and start with some client strategies. So I would say the first thing that I did as a business owner was that the first strategy I ever used was, believe it or not, a blind bargains ad, of all things. I know, a blind bargains ad. If you don't know what blind bargains is, maybe you're not in the blindness community, that's okay. Blind bargains is a site where they kind of have blindness like deals and technology news and classifieds, and basically people can advertise either services or goods that they're trying to sell. And it's ran by one of my friends, JJ Meta. Your Own Pay in chat also is helping him with that as well. But it's a really awesome site, and I basically put out a $5 advertisement on blind bargains, and that's kind of where I started to get my start in terms of my clients. So this could apply to you, maybe starting with a mailing list. So, depending on what you're doing in certain industries, there could be specific like discussion forums or mailing lists, or other things of that manner. We get a question in chat. Your Own Pay asks, do I remember what I put on my first blind bargains ad? No, but I could probably find it in my account somewhere. I could probably find it in my account, hidden somewhere. But I don't remember the exact text I use. But that's a good question. Yeah, I just don't remember the exact text I used for that. But I could probably find it if y'all are curious. I could probably find it somewhere. Yeah, I can definitely probably find that. And I'm going to also put the link to blind bargains in the chat as well, if that would be helpful. But for general tips out there, like I said, because if we've got other people that may not be familiar with the blindness community, because something to note about myself as well is that I am blind, and I've been blind since birth. And so these strategies can be used for getting both blind and non-blind clients alike. But so basically, tip 1 is my call to... That's a good question. My call to action was I wanted them to check out my website, and I also wanted them to, call me and see if I could help them build a website, right? It felt like so long ago, which it kind of was, right? I was just getting started. I just got laid off from a job. And that's kind of how I, began, is just putting out a blind bargains ad. And then along with blind bargains, there's other services as well. There's a blind ads list that I use to sell my services. I've gotten a lot of clients off of that list. There's like over 1,600 members or something on that list. And again, my call to action was simply that I wanted people to give me a call, and I kind of wanted them to check out what I had to offer. And I wanted to show them kind of what I knew how to do. And I wanted them to kind of give me a chance, right? Because as I was starting out, I didn't have a lot of experience, right? So I wanted them to be able to give me that chance. And I wanted them to be able to tell me, that we could start working together, right? Because I needed to generate revenue. And so that's kind of what I tried to do, is I tried to give them the call to action to try to call me, as well as to try to check out my website and see if we could be a good match together. So those are kind of some of the things that I did. So that was kind of the first way that I found some clients. Let's talk about freelancing marketplaces for a second. Now, what are freelancing marketplaces? Well, these are going to be your Upworks, your Fivers, your people per hours, your it used to be Odesk, but obviously it's Upwork now. And those other services. Basically what they allow you to do is they allow you to connect. So clients will connect with freelancers, and they will submit jobs, and then you can submit what are called proposals. And I'm not going to go into the art of proposal for Upwork, because honestly, that's a whole other topic in itself. And I don't even feel like I'm the best qualified to do that topic. But what I would say is freelancing marketplaces are a good place to start if you're new and you want some income, and, you haven't had a lot of success yet trying to find other clients other ways. Because these clients, what they do is they try to post jobs and then you apply to them. Right? So, those are kind of good ways as well to try to get clients. I had a couple clients on Upwork. That's the only freelancing marketplace that I've used personally. And I really like Upwork. It has a lot of accessibility issues though. And honestly though, I would be careful, because Upwork and Fiverr and some of those places do have some shady clients. Obviously, all places do. But especially on these marketplaces, they tend to be a lot lower paying clients. And so you want to be careful. And you're also competing against a lot of people, maybe who are in less developed parts of the world where they can live off of less. And so making sure that you can still charge what you need to make a living, but yet competing with them is just a little bit more of a complicated thing. There are good clients on Upwork, but you do have to try to scope them out. And what I would generally say, though, is try to find clients other ways before freelance marketplaces. I mean, you can do it, right? I've been able to make over $600 on Upwork. But again, it's kind of how you handle it and how you, present yourself on that platform, and making sure you have a good profile. I'm going to link to some channels that I've used in terms of Upwork advice that, hopefully will help you. There's one called Josh Burns Tech, where this person's made over $400,000 on Upwork. His channels helped me. I've just kind of researched a lot of different Upwork videos, but what I would say is number 2 is freelancing marketplaces. Do I have any questions in chat about freelancing marketplaces? Let me see what the chat says. All right. All right, so I don't look like I have any questions. Okay, so yes, freelancing marketplaces is definitely a way that I started. Oops, I don't have any speech now. All right, there we go. So, all right. So does that kind of make sense, y'all? So freelancing marketplaces can definitely be a good way to go, but you just have to kind of be careful. So after freelancing marketplaces, the next thing that happened is I started to get some what's that word? Trust with clients. And some of my projects that I've completed for other clients led into other client projects. So what is this called? Word of mouth. Basically, where clients will tell other clients about your work, and then they will come to you, and vice versa. So word of mouth is great. I love word of mouth. In fact, I can talk all day long. Obviously, y'all see me talk all day long, right? I'm on YouTube, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And so I have a big mouth. And so, me being able to talk to people and having the word of mouth between the two clients is definitely the next way that I've been able to get my clients and I've been able to grow my business is by using word of mouth. And getting your name out there, because there's two different things with word of mouth, right? You have, where your previous clients, so like referrals, and then you have where you actually go seek out clients with word of mouth. And a couple ways that I've been able to do this is conferences. Now, even though we've been in the world of COVID and that kind of fun things, there are still ways that you can still go to conferences. They might just be online, but that doesn't mean that you can't go to conferences. And so the word of mouth thing here is that I've been able to network with people by going to conferences. I've been able to go to meetups. I've been able to go to, different things like that. And so what I would say for you, if you're watching this video right now and you're wanting to go to these client meetups and conferences, is I would say go for it. Find a meetup online or in person, depending on what kind of COVID situation your community's in. Find an event that you want to go to and just go to it. For me, I'm in the accessibility space, in the WordPress space. And so I go to a lot of accessibility and WordPress meetups, right? And a lot of these meetups are not even in my city. I've been going to meetups in California and Colorado and Washington and Oregon and oh my goodness gracious. But I found these things online and I've been able to go to them. And because I found these things online, I've been able to make connections, which have led me into getting more clients because they've been able to see my expertise when I present at conferences and when I actually speak at meetups. Because I've actually been able to speak at some meetups because I've been able to go to some meetups and make the connections in order to do so. So networking is a really huge part of this. And that is, word of mouth networking is a huge, huge thing for clients. So, now I know everyone may not be as extroverted and as, forward people facing as I am, but honestly, having that attitude and having that spirit for entrepreneurship will get you very far, especially, right? Because you want to be able to interact with others. So having that is definitely going to be helpful because you can be able to talk with others and yeah, definitely having those little connections and networking and all that stuff and conferences and meetups and, it'll kind of lead one thing into another. So do I have any questions about that? About conferences, meetups, and other event-based word of mouth marketing in terms of my referrals. When I talk to these people, I'm very, approachable, right? I just don't start going into marketing stuff, right? I start by introducing myself and then, they ask about my business and then I kind of provide details and then a conversation just kind of, who knows, maybe lead to a customer for my business, right? So I don't want to just go throw them my business. No, I want to be approachable and I want to be conversational. And then, I kind of throw in my business, or if it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. But I'm sure, a lot of these people at these conferences are going to ask me, well, Taylor, what do you do for a living? And then I have an opportunity to ask them and to tell them what I do for a living, which is I am a freelancer who owns my own business, Taylor's Accessibility Services, LLC, and here's what I provide. And maybe they don't have anybody else that needs my services, but maybe they have a client or maybe they have others in their network who know, may need the services. So those are some of the ways that I've been able to find some clients. Okay, so chat seems pretty quiet right now, but do I have any more questions about networking, referrals, word of mouth, that kind of thing? Oops, let me go ahead and refresh chat. That's the only thing I don't like about this. Yeah, it's the only thing I don't like about this setup here. But you gotta love when technology fails. All right. Okay, so we'll get to that. All right. Yeah, so we just got a chat message from Your Own Pay. Asked, besides blind bargains, have you done any paid advertising other than that? The answer is no. I haven't done any Facebook or I haven't done any LinkedIn or Twitter ads. I may be looking into that space in the future, but I've never dealt with excuse me. I've dealt with blind bargains. I've never dealt with Facebook and Twitter ads or any of that other paid advertising as of yet. But that is an area I will explore in the future. But since I already knew blind bargains existed for who knows how long, I kind of had that trust with JJ, knowing that JJ lives about 4 miles from my house. So we kind of know each other pretty well. We live in the same city, and so no. Other than blind bargains, I've only done that as paid advertisement and really nothing else. All of it's kind of been free forms of advertisement, right? Which is, good if you're just getting started because maybe you don't have the funds in order to invest in a lot of advertisement. But good question, Your Own Pay. All right. Sweet. Yeah, nice. Microsoft David read that pretty interestingly there. But yeah, so those are kind of some of the things that I would say about that. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Clubhouse. Yes, Clubhouse. So, y'all remember probably in about, when did I get on Clubhouse? February, January-ish? There's this new audio platform app called Clubhouse, and it was all the rage. It still kind of is, although it's kind of falling out of popularity. But what it is it's basically an audio social networking app, right? There's rooms or where you kind of have, different like topics that are going on. And then there's hallway, which is your list of rooms. And then, you can have friends and all that kind of fun stuff, right? So it's almost like Facebook, but for audio, right? And there's a lot of people on there. And with Clubhouse, I got on it. I didn't realize how much I'd actually love it. Michael Dowies was the one that invited me because at that time it was invite only. So I got on the Clubhouse and I just started talking to people. I met a whole bunch of people on there. And what do you know? A whole bunch of people turned into a whole bunch of clients. So what I love about Clubhouse is that you can actually talk to people and you can get that little, not face to face, but you can kind of be in a virtual table together, right? And you can kind of talk and get to know people. It's like audio networking. It's awesome. And obviously, because COVID at that time was raging like wildfire, there's really no networking events going on, anyways. And so I literally had a whole bunch of people that I could access at the palm of my fingertips, right? Where I could literally, go into rooms. And obviously, when I went into these rooms, again, I wasn't all pitchy. No. What I would do is I would strike up conversation with people, right? So if somebody came into my room, I would obviously I would obviously explain, what I did and, talk about, who I am and, introduce myself. And then from there, conversation would start going. And then people are like, oh, you do websites? And they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And sure enough, I got clients from Clubhouse. And along with that, I got some awesome people in this chat. So Your Own Pay, I met him on Clubhouse. We've been in a lot of rooms together. Demasi, I met him on Clubhouse. Lauren Flinner, I met her on Clubhouse. And so actually, as a result of Clubhouse, not only was I able to expand my client base, but I was actually able to build a team and I was able to build partners for myself, which is also something that's very important in the business world, right? So I was able to build rapport with clients And I was also able to build a team for my little accessibility freelancing agency. So Clubhouse is really awesome. There's still a lot going on, but a lot of the rooms are kind of now. It's not really like it used to be. Hey, Orinx, how are you? Super excited that you're on this stream. I know that you also wanted this freelancing stream. So, hello, Orinx. Nice that you're here. I'm super excited. Got a lot of people in our chat tonight, which is awesome. So, yeah, Clubhouse is definitely another great way to try to spread your message. And it also helped that I became an admin of one of the biggest WordPress clubs on Clubhouse called WordPress Q&A. So WordPress Q&A, I became a big admin of that, which has over like 1,000 or so members and 1,000 or 2,000 followers. And I was able to actually network with a whole bunch of people. And then again, that was leading to speaking engagements, which was leading to clients and so on and so forth. So, get your name out there, talk in rooms, network with others. That's definitely the biggest thing, right? I've been able to find a lot of my clients from using my big mouth, right? I was able to find a lot of clients through using my big mouth, either through Clubhouse or other places. But yeah, so Clubhouse is definitely another way that I found a lot of my clients, and I found a lot of great people as well. All right, so do I have any questions from the chat? Let's see what the chat says. I know Orinx says hi. But do I have any other messages? Let's see. Let me go ahead and see here. Not sure that I have any more messages, but let me just make sure before I talk about other ways that I found clients. Okay. So I don't see any more messages at this time. So we're going to go on and move on to the next little way I found clients, which was YouTube, podcast, and other social media platforms. So YouTube is definitely another great way to find clients. And not only YouTube, but a podcast or any other social media presence is definitely a great way. And I found a lot of clients. In fact, I found a couple alone just based off my YouTube channel. They heard my videos and they're like, wow, I want to work with you. And just by producing quality content, right? I might not be getting paid for YouTube directly right now, but I'm getting paid for clients that may find my streams or my videos and want to actually work with me because they see the knowledge that I'm able to execute. Right? So, having some kind of YouTube or social media presence to help your business is definitely another great way to make sure that you can be, seen and that you can stand out from your competition. And I really like YouTube, especially because, it's popular. A lot of people are on it. And I'm really not afraid of the camera, right? I may not be showing my face right now, but again, I'm really not afraid of the camera. And, if you want to, you could also do podcast or just some other way to get yourself known. And so that way you can be on social media. I've got a Facebook, I've got Twitter. I actually have multiple Facebook and Twitter accounts, but, having a personal brand is what it comes down to, right? I've got Taylor's Tech Talks, but then I also have Taylor's Accessibility Services LLC, which is my company. And Taylor's Tech Talks is kind of my personal brand where I kind of show off what I do and kind of, what I know. And then, Taylor's Accessibility Services LLC is my actual company. And a lot of people have found me through Taylor's Tech Talks. So having a personal brand is definitely another great way that I have found to find clients. So personal brand for the win is pretty cool. That way, you can kind of show off who you are as a person as well, but then also show that you have the knowledge, right? That's kind of what, because clients are going to see that you're trusted in the industry and that you have the knowledge in order to kind of, help them with what they need. So personal branding is definitely a great way to go. We just got a chat message from Your Own Pay. Asked, what kind of social media are you going to tackle next? TikToks? Oops, TikToks. Woof. Wow. Microsoft David fails. TikTok. Yeah, Michael, I'm not sure if I'm going to make TikTok videos. It's funny you say that because I was on Michael Doey's stream yesterday, and he said that my username it was Tay's Tech Talks. It sounded like Tay's TikToks or Tay's TikToks. So I don't think I'm gonna tackle TikToks. But who knows? I never know. But yeah, I haven't really messed with Instagram yet. I probably will get there, but yeah, definitely Twitter. I'm pretty big on Twitter. I've got a Facebook. A lot of my audience though came on Facebook. Which is very interesting, right? But definitely check out those different resources, right? Social media, personal branding for the win. All right, let's see what other messages we have here. All right, let's see. I need to refresh because this thing is a slow piece of garbage. Yeah, this thing is a piece of garbage. Okay. So, anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and talk about other miscellaneous ways that I found clients, because those are kind of the biggest ones, right? I found clients before through a LinkedIn contracts or Indeed. So this is kind of funny. Basically, when I first started looking for, jobs or contracts, I literally applied on a job on Indeed, thinking it really wouldn't get anywhere. Well, yeah, it kind of got somewhere, and I was able to get a full-time accessibility contract. Not really full-time, but at the time, because I was still a student, full-time accessibility contract on Indeed. And I know. So, what I would say is job sites, if you're looking for a more stable income, could definitely be a good way to get a more stable contract. So LinkedIn, you could search for like freelance contracts or, freelance contracts plus industry name, right? But then also keeping your profile open for recruiters to contact you. While they may seem annoying, some of them could actually get you a job or a contract, right? So it kind of all depends on what you want. So I would say if you're looking for more stable income, try to go to the job sites and try to apply. So LinkedIn, Dice, Indeed, Career Builder, although I haven't really used that one and I don't think it's as popular, but for sure LinkedIn and Indeed and Dice. If you're in the tech industry, Dice for sure. They've got the handle in the tech market. But job sites, if you're looking for more stable income, go with those. So if you can find more longer term contracts, those are usually posted there. And I have also found clients through random Twitter threads that I somehow got looped into. So that's kind of not really like social media like that I posted, but maybe somebody recommended me on Twitter and then I got looped into a random Twitter thread. I have found clients through that as well. So again, other people trying to tag me and stuff. But those are kind of some of the ways that I have found my clients. Does anyone have any questions or anybody want me to cover anything in more details? Because those are kind of the ways that I've found my clients. They're kind of varied, but again, it all depends, right? On your business. But those I would say are the biggest ways to find clients. So as a recap, we have our, first stuff, right? Our mailing lists and other discussion forums. So like Facebook groups, other places. So like Blind Bargains, if you're in the blindness community, we have that kind of advertisements. And then we also have referrals from other clients, word of mouth and networking. So networking with others, going to conferences, speaking at meetups, all that kind of fun stuff. Even attending meetups, Clubhouse and other audio social networking platforms. Social media in general, so YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of thing, so personal brand, and also job sites. So those are some of the ways that I have found my clients. And hopefully that was a helpful bit for you guys to understand kind of how I was able to find some of my clients. And does anyone else have any questions in the chat? And hopefully that was helpful for y'all. But yeah, any other questions in the chat? Okay. I don't see any questions. I want to switch gears for just a second. I want to talk about our Patreon. So as y'all know, we have started a new Patreon tier system. So our Patreon tier system before wasn't really working all that well. And, you know, it's one of those things, right, where 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I just lost my train of thought. But anyways, what I was saying is that our Patreon system before wasn't working as well as we wanted. And so we've came up with a better plan. Our $1 tier is going to stay the same. That's just access to our Discord. Instead of the $3 tier with honorable mentions, it didn't seem all that popular. And so what I decided to do, since I'm going to be doing a lot more live streaming, is I decided that I'm going to have the $3 tier actually become $4. And that is going to be our edited live stream. So every live stream after it is live on YouTube, there will be an edited, professional, polished version on Patreon for you guys to see if you're in that tier. And then our $7 tier is going to be our VIP tier. So that is if you want to become a VIP member. And at the end of our streams, what will happen is I will open it up on a Discord stage or a Zoom meeting. And all the VIP patrons, if they're available, can come in and talk in the Taylor's Tech Talks VIP lounge, I guess. Lounge. And they can kind of talk to everyone on stream, and we can kind of hang out and, you know, have a really interactive time, right? Talking, answering questions, just kind of having a chill atmosphere. And so if you want more interaction with the community and you want to be able to talk to me live on stream, the $7, actually it's 6, I keep saying 7. The $6 VIP tier will definitely be a good thing for you. And if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, the link is patreon.com/Taylor's Tech Talks. And I will put the link in the description. I meant to put it in the description before the stream, but we had some issues. So, you know, we couldn't really put it in the stream as well as I wanted it to, but patreon.com/Taylor's Tech Talks. Feel free to subscribe to that. That really helps me out as well to produce better content for you guys. And it really helps to make sure that I can continue to grow this channel and produce better content for everyone who's watching. So, I had a chat message and I was requested to do kind of a freelance Q&A. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this stream is we're going to do a freelancing Q&A. And the first question I got came from Asajev Warpclaw. How do I keep track of time for my contracts? That's a really good question because as a freelancer, time tracking is really important. You want to bill the clients for however much you worked. You don't want to overbill them, but you also want to not bill them, you know, too little either. And so time tracking is the best way to ensure if you're working hourly that you can get the rate that you deserve and the amount of money you deserve. And so the app I like to use for time tracking is called Toggle. That is the app that I like to use for my time tracking. And Toggle is really awesome. It is pretty accessible. They do have an iOS client as well called Timery. On the Mac, at least, the iOS version is pretty ridiculously inaccessible. But I just downloaded the regular Toggle app on Mac. So Toggle will give you reports. It will allow you to do billable time. You can even have team members as well. So Toggle for the win. All the links will be in the description after I publish the stream. And then that way you guys can see everything that is posted and that way I'm able to do that as well. Asajev asked, do I round to the nearest whole hour for time build, so 1 hour? Yes, that's what I typically do because it just makes things a lot easier, and it ensures, that no matter what, right, they can always pay for, an hour, and then, that's what I typically do. It just makes things easier on everyone's and my end, as well as the clients. That way we don't have to try to count pennies and cents and whatnot. So, yeah, Asajev, you are correct on that one. Yep. I count time to the nearest hour. Yep. Sure do. So, do I have any more freelancing questions that y'all want me to answer? Anything about running a business, to, how I do things, to, anything in general. What is the max time block I bill per day? Well, that is a really interesting question, Asajev. I would say that the maximum work hours per day, I would say, is 8. Obviously, as a freelancer, you're going to have a lot of other responsibilities, right? You can't work like 8 hours straight. But I would say that the maximum I would bill someone, for that day is like, 7 or 8 hours. But again, usually during the days, I'm working on multiple different projects at the same time, right? And so I'm billing in different time blocks. So does that kind of make sense? I know that's a little bit of a weird answer. Your Own Pay asked another question in chat. So how do I keep track of the money that I earn versus the money that I spend? The answer to that question is called QuickBooks. Now, I have been going on a rant and I've been going on a rage about this whole thing for a while. But here's the deal, guys. I've tried Xero, I've tried all of them. Unfortunately, I'm back to my handy dandy friend, QuickBooks. Now, I know. Now, the regular QuickBooks Online version, I'm actually not using. I actually switched back to the self-employed. And here's why. The QuickBooks Self-Employed is basically a version that's meant for independent contractors. So, you can keep track of all the different deductions, and you can get what's called your Schedule C for filing taxes at the end of the year. And they also have a TurboTax bundle where you can bundle TurboTax, and that means that you can file your taxes, basically effortlessly using the data that you got from QuickBooks Self-Employed. And so, for example, with the regular version of QuickBooks, so QuickBooks Self-Employed, a lot of different, software, options for you, and a lot of different deductions that I've been able to find. And it's really nice because it will give me the numbers and it will give me the profit and loss. And I'm able to deduct, part of my electric bill, part of my, other things, because I do have a home office. And so I will put my link to QuickBooks Self-Employed. If you use it, you can get 50% off for 3 months. So feel free to do that. Again, all these links will be in the description after the stream is published, and they will be on the accompanying blog post at taylorstechtalks.com. So hopefully that helps Your Own Pay. We've got another question from Asajev, or actually a comment, a reply to the last question. He's like, so you block off 8-hour blocks per day, and then if a project takes up more than 8 hours, you have it span across multiple days. The answer is yes, Asajev. Yep, exactly. That is kind of how I plan things out. It's not always a clean 8 hours, but it's definitely, I try. So, yep, you are right on the money. All right. Let's see. Any other questions, y'all? Keeping me on my toes, which is great. And I just see we have another subscriber, so thank you, whoever subscribed. You're awesome. We're at 218. I hope by the end of the week we can get to 220. Do y'all think we can do that? That would be cool. So, those are some of the questions. Do we have any more from chat? Okay. How does the home office tax stuff work? Well, let me just say this disclaimer, y'all. I am not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax professional. and I do not claim to be a tax professional, nor do I pretend to be a tax professional. So if you want real advice, then I would go seek one of those professionals out. Here's what I do. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but this is just what I was told to do. What I typically do is I figure out the percentage of my home that is being used for my office. So let's just say, for simplistic terms, my last apartment. I had a 450 square foot apartment, and so I was using 50 or so feet for my office. So that was going to be about 17% of my total house. Now, what I would typically do is I would figure out how much my rent was. I would figure out, for example, 17% of my rent, 17% of my electric, 17% of, other bills that go along with my office. That is how I figured it out, right? Because you could always do the simplified method, but then you can't get as much deduction. So that is what I do. Now, I'm not saying that's right, not saying it's wrong, because I know that there is a special formula, and right when it comes to taxes, like the tax software can kind of help you with that. But that's why I like to use a QuickBooks Self-Employed, because I'm able to literally split expenses, and I'm able to literally put this in home office, but this other part in personal. And I don't have those options with QuickBooks Online. Now, if you're using Stripe, it's a little bit dicey. So what I've had to do is I can calculate the income that I get from Stripe, that comes into my bank account, right? But unfortunately, I still have to manually account for the fees, which isn't bad, but it's just still something to keep in mind, because with PayPal, they would automatically get put in. But there's no way to link Stripe to QuickBooks Self-Employed. Okay, does that all make sense? I know that was probably a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but honestly, again, I'm going to say it again. If you're really unsure, just get help from a professional who actually knows this stuff, because I do not, and I do not claim to know it all. All right. So, Asajev also asks, do you have any other resources for low vision individuals? Asajev, what kind of resources are you looking for particularly? Could you be a little bit more specific on that? That'd be great if you could be a little bit more specific. Because I'm not exactly sure what you are referring to there, but if you could be a little bit more specific, maybe I could give more advice. Yes, but again, I'm going to say the same thing. Basically, Asajev asked, can reoccurring, like education, software licenses, all that kind of stuff be used for work expenses? Yes, anything that you use for your business can get deducted. But again, I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to say it twice, and I'm probably going to say it 5 other times. Get help from a real professional who knows this stuff and knows your situation, because I do not pretend to be a professional, and I'm not a professional in this tax stuff. So, yes, anything that I use for business gets deducted. Even if it's, like I said, some things that are split with my personal, I can split the transaction so that some of it goes to personal, some of it goes to business. So, that is how I do that. But yeah, anything that I use, recurring costs, all that stuff can be deducted from the business income every month. Do I know any? Let me read that chat again. Let's see. I'm trying to. Do I know any professional companies? Is that what you're asking, Asajev? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Are you talking about like agencies that help people start businesses? Is that what you're talking about, Asajev? Again, it's a little bit hard to understand exactly what you're referring to, but yeah, it's a little bit hard to understand if you're talking about businesses, if you're talking about companies, agencies. Okay. I don't know of any off the top of my head, but what I would say is your state is your best friend. Because here's the deal. a lot of the business services are provided on a state level. So what I tell you here in Michigan will not apply in Texas, right? Or Oregon. I just happen to know by watching my analytics that somehow 20% of all my viewers are from Texas. Huh. How is that possible? That's why I mentioned Texas first. Every state is different. So what I would say is go to your state resources and see what they have to offer you. See if they have like a business, vendor, not really a BEP program, but basically a program to help people start businesses. Some states do not. Some states do. Michigan, for example, contracts with others, and they do. Would I advise talking to the Chamber of Commerce? Yes. That is another good option, depending on kind of how, good your Chamber of Commerce is near you. Mine happens to be not that good. And I'm not going to really get into that. But another thing you could do, though, Jeff, is your Small Business Development Center. It's the Small Business Administration. It's funded through them. There's like free business counseling. And they're typically provided through the universities or the colleges. And so you could actually get it for free. It's paid through the federal government. I love my small business consultant. She's awesome. And she's really helped me grow my business as well. So super excited about that. And I have my small business consultant. Usually we meet on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to monthly basis. We're kind of getting more towards where we don't need to meet as often. But your Small Business Development Center, federally funded program, free business consulting and counseling is definitely another great option for you guys to check out. But again, they're not blindness specific though, Jeff. So they may not know how to work with a blind person specifically. That's kind of what happened to me. But I was able to teach them how to kind of work with a blind person. And then the advice they gave me though was general. Does that help? And again, all these links, everything I try to mention, all that stuff. Okay, Jeff asks, do they offer accessible documentation for us to work in our business? Jeff, what do you mean by accessible documentation? Do you mean like LLC formation? Like, explain to me what you mean by accessible documentation. What? Audio tutorials? Well, they have a lot of like text-based things as well. They have a lot of webinars. They have a lot of different services, but again, this is a very state thing, right? A very state specific thing, or even city actually. So you'll want to check with your local city thing because each one provides different services. And so what I'm about ready to tell you will apply to Michigan, but that's because that's what I know. I live in Michigan. I operate in Michigan. Everything I do is in Michigan, right? But your city is going to be a lot different than my city and the services that they offer. So what I would say is that I haven't really been able to get like large print documents and that kind of thing, but they do have everything pretty much online, right? At least right now because of COVID, right? But again, check with your local city because my city is not your city and vice versa. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay. Y'all are keeping me on my toes tonight, y'all. All right. Jeff asks, can I open an LLC in a state that I do not reside in? Well, the short answer is yes. Again, but I'm not an attorney, and I don't pretend to be. Michael Doey's just opened up his LLC in Delaware. So yes, you can go ahead and do that. But again, you'd want to read their state laws, and you'd want to see if that'd be worth it for you. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility you could do. But again, if you really want legal advice, then I would talk to an actual attorney. But yes, you can open an LLC in a state that you do not reside in. That is possible. I just opened mine in Michigan because that's the state I know, and that's the state I live in, and that's the state I operate in, and that's just the thing I kind of was told to do when I started my LLC. So that's what I did. But, everyone is different. And every situation is different, but if you're going to use Stripe Atlas, for example, which is what Michael Doey's did to open up his LLC. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, we've got a stream talking about that. I will link that in the description. And yeah, I will put that in the description. Okay, Asajov asked, should I start as a DBA and not an LLC as a freelance worker? Sure. I had a DBA for a few months. A DBA basically is a doing business as. And what that will allow you to do is that will allow you to do business as, your whatever, my name services something else, some name other than yourself. You can do a DBA. Usually that's on the county level, and you'd be considered what's called a sole proprietor. I'm not going to really get into the differences between that and an LLC. There's a lot of videos that I can link to in the description as well about that. But yes, start off as a sole proprietor, and then when you feel like it's time, then you can get an LLC. But yeah, hopefully that is helpful. But yeah, y'all are keeping me on my toes today, which is awesome. I love it. All right, let's see what we've got here. Any other questions? This has been awesome, though. And again, if you want to see the full version, fully edited, fully professional, head over to patreon.com/Taylor's Tech Talks. Join the $4 a month tier, and you will be able to see that professional edited version when it comes out if you want this information in a more comprehensible way. Asajov asked, what do you do for a banking needs of a DBA or LLC? Well, Asajov, you're going to need an employer identification number, or EIN. And then from there, what I would say is, find a bank that you trust. What I typically did is I opened it up at the bank that I have my personal account with. And I went into the bank and I showed them my information and they were able to help me get set up. If you do have an LLC, though, you'll probably also have to show your state documents. In my case, though, they were actually able to get them off the state website for me, so I didn't even have to show them. They just looked at my LLC, which was pretty nice. So, yeah, but definitely keep your finances separate. Good question. But I would say go to your bank, maybe a bank that you trust or a bank that you know, and do your research as well. Maybe there's a bank that you like particularly for what you do, then go to that one. I know Mercury is an online bank that's popular, but find something that you like and that, you either know a lot about or have, your personal stuff at, because then it will make it a lot easier to transfer funds to your personal account, at the end of the month. So, does that help on that end? So Asajov, basically what he's asking now is, do you have a waiver, or how do you handle the account balance minimum? So a lot of banks, what they will do is they will say, hey, you need $500 in your account to not get a fee every month. And what the answer to that is, Asajov, is I just keep a minimum amount in my account that I need to not have a fee. That is the simplest answer that I have, right? So in my case, my bank's fee is $500. So I will always keep $500 no matter what. That way I will not get slapped with a fee. But usually it's an average. So if it's, an average of, per month, right? And then, that they'll kind of average it out. And then if it's below $500 average, then they would take a fee. Right, but I would try to keep it always at that minimum. I don't really have any waivers or anything. I just say, okay, this needs to be at $500. End of story. Right. Let's see here. But yeah, if y'all want this in a more professional manner, because this is all great information and I'm super glad we're doing this today, head over to the Patreon and you can get your edited version once it becomes available. I try to get it available within, a few days. What other tools do I use around my home office for record keeping? Well, I mean, I keep everything, like I said, I try to keep everything digital, right? So all my bills, everything, I try to keep it in a digital manner. and I try to keep everything, organized, right? So I have all my records, I save all my receipts digitally. I have it in Google Drive, for example. What other tools are you talking about specifically for record keeping around the home office? Because I typically try to have everything with me. The only other thing is that I am getting a filing cabinet to keep important business documents, and I'm gonna get like a lock, right, to have it locked up, or to have a combination or something so that nobody can just get into it if my apartment will ever get broken into. But yeah, filing cabinet is definitely helpful for important business documents and other things on that manner. So I'm going to be getting one of those because I just moved into a new place. So consumer/customer management software, do I manage it as a freelancer? Yes and no. I don't really have a good customer management software. Well, actually, I take that back. Yes, I do, and it's called Stripe. So yes, I do. And again, I use Stripe to manage the customer management software. Yep. Stripe is what I will use for that. And because then I can keep all the invoicing and then the payment methods, and that's how I invoice as well as I use Stripe. Right. So Stripe is awesome. I love their invoicing. So Stripe invoices is what I will use for invoicing my clients, and then they can have other information in there. So yes, I do manage that. It is a payment system, but it has basic CRM functionality. I mean, obviously, I don't have all the stuff related to a CRM, but I do have the ability to have the information, for the records, for the clients, for the, everything else, right? In terms of an actual CRM, I don't really have an actual CRM, but Stripe is what I use for all the record keeping. Hey, Michael, how are you? I was watching your stream earlier, but I had to obviously go, and then we had some weird technical difficulties today with this stream, but sup, Mike? Nice. But yeah. Also, like I said, if you haven't liked, share, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell to see when I go live next. Feel free to do so. I'm gonna be producing a lot more content like this if that's what y'all want. How do I manage project management? Good question. So the way that I manage project management is I use something called Microsoft To Do, and I know that Ashley, if you're typically or you're personally, excuse me, familiar with it as we've used it before. But basically, I invite the clients to the list, and we can keep track of tasks. We can write things down, assign due dates, and that's kind of how I try to keep everything on task. Is I use Microsoft To Do, which is awesome. So, yep, that is how I keep things separated. Is Microsoft To Do, and how I keep projects. Every client has their own list. And then in terms of my team members, I invite the relevant team members that are needed for that project onto that list. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Yes, so the file and content related to the projects, I use a Google shared drive where I can invite the clients to the shared drive and they can upload. And what's cool about shared drives is that they won't take up their space, they'll only take up the person who makes them. So versus a shared folder where as if you modify it, it will take up your space as well as the recipient space. It will not take up their space as well, right, with a shared drive. So I use shared drives on Google Workspace, and I will put the link to that as well in the description. So Google Workspace along with Microsoft To Do is how we handle that flow of tasks and projects and client work. Now, if a client has a system that they want me to use, then I'll obviously respect that and I will use their system. But if they're coming to me with new, ideas and they don't have a system, then obviously those are my defaults. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's see here. Any other questions, y'all? Yeah, again, you guys are all keeping me on my toes today. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Michael, shout out to him. He is a what's called a VIP patron, and we need to do VIP patron time in about a few minutes. So, okay. So before we do VIP patron time, we're gonna have another question. All right. Sorry, y'all. My chat is going nuts. So, all right, here we go. So, let's go ahead and talk about the question that was presented. So, Asajev asks us, so what was the most challenging situation you've experienced as a freelancer, and what can you teach us? I would say the most challenging situation I've encountered as a freelancer was dealing with clients who did not pay. I'm not going to name any names for anonymity reasons and confidentiality. But the reason or the thing that I would say to teach you guys is to have specific and strict deadlines with clients and to make sure that you are getting paid what you're worth, right? So, invoice reminders with Stripe is a really good way to handle that because they'll send reminders 7, 21, 14 days if they're late. Or, following up with them and trying to make sure that you can get money right and that everyone is on the same page. But what I would say is the most challenging thing is dealing with clients who pay late or who may not pay at all. But what again I could say you could teach them is to use, systems and make sure that you are protected and always, talk with the clients and make sure you're communicative and that everyone is on the same page. So that kind of helps. So basically, and if you have to impose late fees, I haven't personally done that yet. But late fees could be another good option if it absolutely comes down to it. Jeff just asked Galileo, where would that be? We've got 4 people watching right now, y'all. This is nuts. I'm loving this. Do you guys want more of this content? Do you want more of this freelancing stuff? Is this what y'all want? Because if it is, we can do more of it. Is this what you want? Because it seems like this is what y'all want. But yeah. So, Asajev just asked about the Galileo or whatever. I just mispronounced that on stream. But yeah. So, it's about VIP patron time. So, let's go ahead and invite our VIP patrons. Basically, this is a new segment of the stream where you wow. Yeah, if you subscribe to the $6 a month tier, you can come up on stream with me live and we can talk to everyone. So, we're going to now invite up our VIP patron, and we only have one, Michael Dowie. So let me go ahead and get him the link, and he's going to join our stream, and we're going to have an awesome conversation. And I just had a chat message. I got to remember what it was now. Let me see here. But yeah, so if you want to become a VIP patron, patreon.com/Taylor's Tech Talks. $6 a month will get you access to the VIP team. The VIP, and you can become a patron and help me make better content for you guys and to also ensure that I can produce better content and better, better things for everyone. So, yeah, Asajev just asked, let's make this into a resource. Sure. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Bulawayo is in Zimbabwe. Nice. So, let's go ahead and do some VIP patron time. You guys can still feel free to ask questions, but now we're going to have our VIP patrons come up to the stage. And I'm super excited because we're going to have this new segment of every stream where, as if I'm done presenting my stuff, we'll have a time where all the VIP patrons can kind of interact live with you guys, and it's going to be a pretty fun segment. So, y'all, are you ready for this? Because I am. So, let's go ahead and go ahead and do this here. I gotta stop my share. But All right, so let's go ahead and share the link here. All right. Let me go ahead and pause. But yeah, so VIP patron time is going to be a new thing on every stream. So all right. So, yeah, let me go ahead and put the Patreon in the chat. I got some requests to do that, so let me go ahead and do that so that y'all can be a part of it if you want to subscribe. And yeah, I'm gonna wait. All right, so we're gonna see if Michael comes up on stage, and we're gonna go ahead and answer some more questions. All right, Michael Doise is in the house, y'all. So, all right. Hey, Michael. Maybe. Are you here, Michael? Michael?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great.
I'm super excited that you're one of our VIP patrons.
Yeah.
And he's the first one. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool to be here on stream. I almost missed this because I was streaming myself. So.
Orinx, I can link to the Programming for Everyone Discord server. Yes, we've got so many links. This stream is wild.
Yeah, that's a great Discord server.
Robert Malunda, it's exactly 3:17 a.m. in Zimbabwe. Wow.
Wow.
And you're watching me in the middle of the night? Well, I feel honored.
And that's more VIP than I'll ever be.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
That is, you guys don't know, like, this is probably one of the best streams we have ever had. How is New York? Well, I'm not in New York, Robert. But Michigan is good. I mean, I'm in the same time zone, but I'm not in New York. Yeah, Michael, Restream was taking a dump in the face today, so I had to go back to the extension because Restream was giving me invalid key errors and nonsense. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. This stream kind of got.
Did you hear what happened? What I found out about Restream?
Oh well, obviously we're gonna talk about that in a second, but yeah, we're gonna have to link to all these things, and the description is probably gonna be way too long for this for YouTube, so we may have to end up coming up with another blog post or something because
Might
this
have to be a link that's shared through the description. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is so wild. But again, if you want the professional edited version, which I don't see why you wouldn't, because by the way, I'm also looking at using Final Cut. I got the free trial of that. So Descript was great, but my edits were a little bit too tight for comfort. So we looked at Final Cut, which is Apple's video editing program. So
iMovie Plus for these for you programmers out there.
Yep.
Yep.
No, just pin a couple of comments. Well, no, Asher Jeff. The problem is there's so many links that we have to link to that pinning a couple of comments wouldn't really help a lot, right?
Nope. Now you can. It's interesting because you could have some long descriptions, but it just depends on certain things.
5,000 character max.
Really?
Yes.
That seems kind of short. I wonder if you get longer descriptions for certain unlocks on YouTube. Kind of seems to be their MO, as they say.
But yeah, let me link to the Patreon. Tiny links, yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
And what I've started doing is I've started making redirects from my website whenever, like I have techopolisos.com/YouTube.
Yep, and I do have taylorstechtalks.com/Patreon as well. That does work. So, yeah, Patreon, definitely. If you want the more professional of this version and more comprehensible, then go ahead and do that. Or if you want to be part of our Discord, go ahead and do that as well. Or if you want to be on stream like Michael is right now, doesn't that seem like a pretty fun thing to do? Be on stream with, Taylor? Go ahead and, be a part of that, right? Because it'll definitely make the community better and you'll ensure that I can keep producing this awesome content. But yeah, let me link to that thing right now. But yeah, Michael, how does it feel for this new VIP patron section?
Yeah, I think it's a cool segment, and I think it's neat when we get more folks that are patrons on that to be able to have a discussion at the end of your streams. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah. So let me link to the Patreon.
I may have to mute in a few minutes, but I will return if I have to do that, depending on how long you go for.
Well, who knows how long we're going to go for at this rate. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some good information to share once you're ready.
Let's see. So there's a Patreon. So if you guys aren't members, feel free to join. Again, you could just start for $1 a month. Yes, and normally we would be on Discord, but our Discord stage. Michael, do you want to explain the Discord stage debacle of
So it
I don't know
looks
how
like
we end that.
there's some issues with the Discord stage that we're trying to iron out with permissions and locked user member roles and different things like that. We're trying to iron out. So I'm sure that we will get folks, that are VIPs up on that stage once A, it gets working, and B, there's more VIPs.
Yeah, but a Zoom meeting works just as well, doesn't it?
It does.
So, Zoom meetings are always the default. But yeah, if you want to be on stage like Michael, that's great. Yeah, ask for what? Sorry, chat message. But yeah, I'm surprised this extension is keeping up as well as it has because this chat has gone wild, which is awesome. This is the engagement we need, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. But it seems like that y'all want this content about freelancing and stuff. I don't know what your thoughts were about the stream today, Michael. What did you think about it?
Well, I came in late because I was streaming on my channel on Techopolis and to my Twitch account.
Put a link to that in the chat, would you?
I will. We'll have to put it afterwards. I'm mobile right now.
Okay, I'll just do it for you then.
Yeah, I'm not sitting down at a computer at the moment. When you stream for 2 hours and haven't had dinner, that's an important thing. So I'm waiting for that to get here.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But if you want that, the URL, techopolisos.com/YouTube will get you there.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, like I said, anybody can be up on the stage, and then yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get this edited out version, in a timely manner. But yeah, so that's on Patreon. Again, taylorstechtalks.com/Patreon, or you can visit the link, or it's gonna probably be in the blog post, or you can go to taylorstechtalks.com and it's literally on the bottom of the site. So there are plenty of places to find it. But let's see. Any other questions, y'all? But yeah, Michael, that's definitely yeah, I understand because yeah, you've been streaming for 2 hours and then that's why you probably just got over here. But I'm glad you were at least able to catch some of it.
Yep.
But any other questions from anyone in the chat? What are y'all thoughts? Again, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, put your notification bell on so you know when I'm going live, even if it is 3:17 or whatever that was in the morning. I guess, yeah, no matter what time it is, but yeah, feel free to put your notification bell on. Oh, Michael, you've been told to give your restream secret, so
All right. So
You want
here's
to
the
give a little bit
deal.
of a context for that, so that
Yeah.
everyone knows what that is?
So Restream is what Taylor uses for her streams, right?
Normally uses.
Yeah, and to read chat and text to speech and all that good stuff. You're still
Yep.
using it, right, for streaming, or are you?
No, I had to use YouTube Studio because Restream wouldn't let me stream.
Oh wow. So basically, what I've determined is if you there the YouTube the Restream chat is really good as far as using text to speech and getting things done fast. Well, I tried to set up YouTube with Restream, and you don't actually have to be streaming to Restream to get Restream chat to work. But one of the things that I found is that and I think this even works if you're doing it through Restream, you have to plan an event for the Restream bot to go into. Otherwise, it will not, the Restream chat application will not detect that you're streaming to YouTube, which is very interesting. So whenever I was on Twitch, it said, "Oh, you're connected to Twitch. I'll play your messages," which interestingly were at the same rate as speech chat. So that's pretty interesting. But it appears that because they use a bot with YouTube, that's what's possibly making it faster to get those messages on YouTube. Now, again, the problem with it is you have to plan an event, which you can do that. I don't know if you have to do the event planning through Stream Chat or if you could use Streamlabs.
You have to use Restream, probably.
Well, we don't know. We'll
Right.
have to
I'm
test
saying
it.
I assume.
Yeah, we'll have to test it. Because I'm wondering if you make an event through Streamlabs or Restream, if they basically make an event in your YouTube account. I wonder if that's
what happens, yes, because I know that's what happens.
Is it? Okay. So then
Because that's
technically
what happened to me tonight. That's what happened to me
so
tonight.
So you made the event through Restream
Yes.
first, right?
Yep.
And then did the YouTube account show the event when you logged into YouTube Studio?
Yes.
Interesting. So that's probably what happens with Streamlabs. So technically this should work.
Yep.
So technically you just need to make an event on YouTube with Streamlabs, even if you do it, 1 minute before, and you should be good to go. It should be able to pick up the Restream bot should be able to pick up the chat. So that's really interesting.
Interesting. Wow.
And this, folks, is why I love technology, because researching and problem solving this kind of stuff is really interesting.
Yep.
Also, if you're a Restream user, then what's neat is if you're using the regular OBS application, OBS Studio, it will actually bring up docked windows where you could pick which destinations you want from Restream and other information about the title and all those kinds of things. So
Orange said, "Oh, sorry."
Oh,
Orange said I never had to do that. I never had to do that. You can switch one on or off. You can do that without creating an event.
That is not what the chat app software said whenever I used it today. Twitch said connected. YouTube said nope. And it actually said you must create an event for YouTube to be connected. That's what it said in the Restream chat desktop application.
Interesting.
So if there's something I'm missing there, then that would be good to know.
Yeah. Well then, any other thoughts? But yeah, feel free But yeah, we got 218 subscribers, which is awesome. So.
Yep, and please come subscribe to us on YouTube. I do more than just game streaming on there. So we do our technology show, which will be on Wednesday. It's been twice a week lately. It's been kind of awesome.
You've been what? Twice a week? Yeah, we've been doing Techopolis Live twice a week, which is our show. If you like to hear me and Michael talk, then come to Techopolis Live, although we're going to have other guests on there as well.
Mm-hmm. I have an idea for this week. I don't remember if we talked about that or not.
Well, do we want to reveal it to try to promote it?
Sure. We're going to be talking about, it's a programming heavy show. So let's talk about, I'm going to play with Play.js tomorrow. And then that way we can have something Wednesday. To talk about. No, I'm going to play with it tomorrow. That way I have something to talk about on Wednesday.
Oh.
And this app is an app that lets you program all.
Whoops, it looks like Michael just lost his connection. Whoops. But yeah, how are you guys liking this VIP segment? Looks like Michael just lost his Zoom connection. But yeah. There is a free restream as well, Robert. You are correct about that. Yep. You are definitely correct about the free restream account. Let's see. But yeah, so what do you guys all think? Let me admit him back in. Let's see. Voiceover is not working at the moment. All right, Michael is back, y'all. Michael is back. Maybe. Michael? Are you here?
Hi there, guys. I had some connection problems. Sorry about that.
No problem. I figured.
Totally lost my train of thought there.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So, you might just want to put that in.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to be talking about the Play.js, and you can write even React Native apps right on the iPad. So I'm pretty excited about what that's going to allow us to do.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So, Techopolis Live, I put the link in there, but feel free to subscribe to Techopolis as well. That's Michael's channel. Michael and we also do things on there as well. I do Techopolis. Cool, Play.js. Curious about... Now, Michael, they're asking you questions.
Okay, I'm not in the chat at the moment.
Yeah, you might want to go in the chat because they're asking you questions.
Give me just a second. I'm going to fire up something else we talked about on Techopolis Live, and that is a thing called Windows 365.
Oh yeah, I love it. And we did another episode about that, so that can be linked as well. We did a Windows 365 use cases. It's also on Techopolis and Taylor's Tech Talks. So, yup. But these segments for VIP patrons are just going to be talking about whatever, right? So it doesn't even have to be related on topic. It's just kind of having a discussion with patrons, but we want to have it live so that everyone kind of knows what we're talking about, right? So it's just kind of a cool segment that I wanted to introduce. So Michael is getting into that.
And the neat thing is I've already booted up Windows and I'm loading up my Restream chat.
Are you going to remember? I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Remember because it's in the... Remember because I couldn't get Restream to work?
Oh, that's right.
So we have to go to YouTube this time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it shows that you are not streaming at all. So that's why I think it.
Yeah, I know, because I couldn't get it to work because it was saying invalid key and all that fun garbage. So no idea what was going on. I just couldn't get it to work today. So I just had to go back to the extension. But at least I'm keeping up. Sorry, y'all. Oh, tiring. But yeah, what they're trying to say is Play.js is an IDE, or an IDE for iPad for JavaScript. That's what he basically was saying.
Yes, it is. It is an IDE for
JavaScript.
It's a IDE for JavaScript and writing all kinds of JavaScript, Node.js specifically, on mobile.
Yep. So Techopolis Live, if you want to watch it, we're gonna do it on Wednesday. Are we gonna try it for 7, Michael?
Yes, we are. 6 Central, 7 Eastern.
Yep. So if y'all want to watch it, feel free. Subscribe to Techopolis. That way you know when we exactly go live and you can see all Michael's streams. And yeah, feel free. But yeah. Let's see. Any other chat messages? What are y'all's thoughts? This has been a great stream, though. Really has. Again, it's been probably one of the best streams I've ever had. How do you spell Michael's channel? Well, I don't know if it'll come up in search, so.
Yeah. Hang on just one moment. I am switching accounts and I will get in the chat in just a second.
Alright, so Michael's going to be getting in the chat in just a second, y'all. And then, yeah, he'll go subscribe over there, which is awesome.
I'm going to mute my microphone.
Oh, you muted a little bit too soon there. Oh. Okay. Alright, so Michael is muted at the moment.
All right, I should be able to interact with the chat now. Let me see.
You should be able to.
Yep, I am in.
Alright. Alright, so. You can see the chat now, Michael?
Yep.
Cool.
I'm putting the URL to the channel in chat. So Techopolis is spelled tech, like T-E-C-H, O-P-O-L-I-S. Kind of like a metropolis, but with the word tech at the beginning.
Yep. Alright. Any other thoughts, y'all? Let's see what we got here. But yeah, any other thoughts? Let's see. But yeah, Michael, this has definitely been a great stream, and your stream was great earlier as well, so I had to leave it because I had to stream, but yeah. Alright. Let's see. Any other thoughts before we wrap this thing up? It's been an awesome stream. Be on the lookout, patrons. Ask if Jeff out of thinking capability. Yeah. Well, as many messages as you threw my way tonight, I would understand. But yeah, if you want the the easy to follow version of this, you can go on patreon.com/Taylor's Tech Talks. And also the link will be in the description in the chat. Feel free to do that as well. $4 a month, you can get access to all the edited, professionally produced live streams. And yeah, we're going to be doing this thing. So, we'll probably be doing another blog post about this topic at some point. We'll probably put all the descriptions. Beep, beep, I swear I'm not a bot. Well, But yeah, any other thoughts, Michael, before we wrap this show up?
Nope, I think that's good.
Where can people find you online?
Like I put it in the chat, techopolisos.com/YouTube. You can find me, Mike Doey's on Twitter, and pretty much I'm also on Twitch, Mike Doey's, if you like to follow gaming content. You could find a lot of other content at iaccessibility.net for blindness and accessibility related content, and all over the web.
Yeah, and as well, Robert just said, I've learned a lot from Taylor's Tech Talks. Well, I appreciate that. That's kind of what we try to do, so, and again, with, the more people that want to help get on stage, the better we can make these streams and the more fun we'll have. So, with that, you know where to find Taylor's Tech Talks. Tay's Tech Talks on Twitter, Taylor's Tech Talks on Facebook. I am on Twitch at Tay's Tech Talks, although it sounds like to Michael, Tay's TikToks, or Tay's TikToks, whatever that is.
Yep.
But I am on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the places. TaylorsTechTalks.com. If you find Taylor's Tech Talks, just search all over the web, you'll be able to find it. So, alrighty. Well, let's see if we make sure we have any more chat messages, but I think that will wrap the show up. It's been an awesome show, though, y'all. So, be on the lookout. If you are a current patron, you will see this hopefully in the next, a little while. We'll get the edited version out for you, and then we'll go from there. But without further ado, Michael, don't you say that this was a wrap?
Yep, I would say.
All right, so I'll see y'all later. Next week, we're going to be doing another Taylor's Tech Talks. Taylor's Tech Talks has a new time. It's at Mondays at 8 Eastern. So, that is when we're going to be doing Taylor's Tech Talks episodes. And they're going to be live from now on. So be on the lookout for Taylor's Tech Talks live, and we'll probably also have some spontaneous live streams. We'll be doing some Taylor's Teardowns, where I tear down applications. From an accessibility perspective, we did a late night live stream last night where I tore down Descript. And we're probably going to do some more teardowns as well next week. I'm not sure what's on the agenda, but you will definitely see a YouTube schedule, so feel free to set yourself a reminder. And be on the lookout for Taylor's Tech Talks every Monday at Eastern. Thank you. Yep, so 8 Eastern is Taylor's Tech Talks every Monday. All right, that sounds good. I will see y'all later, and have a good rest of the week. And we are out. All right, so let me go ahead and